I want to take a moment and show you a tour of the Washington area through the eyes of the Mueller Report.
Yeah, for those familiar with D.C., the report takes readers through high-end hotels to the Oval Office, where activities were scrutinized by investigators. Here's Scott Broom to show us around.
Let's start at the Mayflower Hotel on Connecticut Avenue, where then-candidate Trump gave a speech promising a good deal for Russia. On April 27, 2016, the VIP reception featured Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak meeting top campaign officials, including the future Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Suspicions were raised, but the investigation did not identify evidence that the campaign passed or received any messages to or from the Russian government. On now to the Trump International Hotel, mentioned in the report as the scene of a March 31, 2016 meeting of candidate Trump's foreign policy team. Investigators explored Trump advisor George Papadopoulos' efforts to set up a back-channel meeting between Trump's campaign and representatives of the Russian government, who said they had dirt on Hillary Clinton. But it never happened. Papadopoulos later pled guilty to lying to investigators. Now to the Center for the National Interest, 1025 Connecticut Avenue Northwest. The center is a foreign policy think tank that proclaims its unparalleled access to Russian officials. Center Director Dmitry Simes is a Russian-born academic who had contact with numerous Trump insiders, including son-in-law Jared Kushner, which were exhaustively investigated. No evidence that Simes coordinated illegal Russian assistance to the campaign was found. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, the offices of then-Senator Jeff Sessions, a September 2016 meeting with Russian Ambassador Kislyak, who courted Sessions to come to a private dinner. Sessions said no. A staffer called Kislyak an old-school KGB guy. Investigators found no campaign coordination between Sessions and the Russians. And, of course, the Oval Office itself, where President Trump demanded loyalty from then FBI Director James Comey and asked Comey to spike the Russia investigation. Comey refused. The special counsel has left it to Congress to decide if the president was obstructing justice. One notable spot not mentioned in the report, a Russian government compound on Maryland's eastern shore seized by the Obama administration in the wake of Russian interference in the election as a spy nest. The Trump administration has since given the compound back. Scott Broom, WUSA 9.